Hey, it's Clay at claycharter.com, and let's go over the top 10 stocks that have caught my eye headed into Wednesday, June 16th, and we will be taking a look at a technical overview. I am a technical trader, so either if you are a technical trader, maybe you're interested in learning more about technical trading, technical analysis, and charts and all that good stuff, then this will definitely be a video for you. So let's get to it. To start things off, AMC, maybe you've heard of it, and a disappointing day today because, yeah, the price did break up through that red line, which I've talked about time and time again in past videos at $60.50. Made a great breakout. So just now I should take a step back. Not disappointing if you're some sort of day trader. You bought right there and then you scalped out right there for a multi-dollar move. You know, congratulations to that. When I say disappointing day, I mean from more of the overarching standpoint, because got the breakout and then totally failed. And then the interesting part was after the price failed back below, look what happened. The price did recover back up, but then started to find resistance right at that level. So pointer being $60.50 has apparently really become a very stubborn level in that area that you'll want to continue to watch. If the price can push up through there, then what today revealed is that right around $64.50 will be that next key resistance level. However, before you really put any focus on $64.50, again, that first key level that'll need to be cleared above and stayed above is going to be $60.50. In terms of levels of support, nothing has changed as I've talked about in past videos. Just continue to watch that purple line there. The 50 period moving average has a very nice upward slope to it. So while today individually was disappointing, was rough, you know, one single day doesn't destroy a chart. So from the big picture point of view, I mean, to better illustrate this even more, just squeezing things down, the overall trend is so perfectly up, but just like I said, to get the breakout and then completely fall back below it, not really the greatest sign of power, but who knows, maybe we'll give it another try on Wednesday. Next one, TRCH, and a very eventful, impressive day today from the price. Not only action standpoint, but looking down there at the volume, huge volume. A little sketchy though, because there was this bigger pullback in the afternoon, but that doesn't mean that the entire chart's destroyed or anything like that. But definitely an important level of support to watch now moving forward is going to be down there at the $4.70 mark. And then if 470 can't quite hold up, you know, definitely a level that I would consider just that much more important down there at 430. Because if the price were to go down there to 430 and then break down through there, well, first off, that's already implied that that level's been broken. And then, of course, that level's been broken. So that would be two levels of support broken. And then really the next level of support would not be until down there around that gap close location. And it's not that gaps have to close, but the problem at that point is, you know, it would just put the chart in basically this little no man's territory as far as the chart is concerned. So, you know, preferably staying above those levels would be great. We're going to go ahead and get rid of that. Now, if the price does all of a sudden start to turn itself around, two main breakout points initially, well, let me there we go. Two main breakout areas going to be initially right there at $5.50, and then after $5.50 up there right around the $6 mark. So keep an eye on those if the price does decide to all of a sudden turn itself around. But overall, very respectable day, very solid day of volume. But now it just becomes a question of, is this just a temporary pullback before an even bigger move over the next couple of days? We'll see what happens. Next one here, WISH. Talked about this in past top 10 videos, but definitely keep an eye on it. Although it was a disappointing day because it ultimately did actually break up through that level that I talked about previously, broke up through it, made a very nice move all the way up there, and then like AMC, just completely failed and back down it went. After it fell back below the red line, you can see it did make another attempt to get back up above it, but that area went right back to acting as resistance and down. You know, the price continued to pull back. However, with all that being said, what you got to like about this chart from the bullish side of things is the price has continued to do a fantastic job of honoring and respecting that trend line right there. So let me bring this down just so you have a little bit more context of where that's coming from. So, I mean, literally once again today, I mean, the power of charts here, price came down there and bounced right off that level right there. So yes, today was disappointing that the price got up there, pulled back, but as far as the overall chart is concerned, you know, is it completely destroyed? Absolutely not, because the price is still up above the trend line. Now, if the price comes down to that trend line and then just blasts down through it, okay, at that point, it becomes a different conversation. But as of right now, the price is doing a good job of staying above that trend line. So you're going to want to continue to watch that as that main area of support. And then as far as resistances, again, right up there around that 1180-ish mark, give or take, remains public enemy number one, but you got to still give the benefit of the doubt to the bulls right now because the price is respecting that trend line. So we'll see how this one plays out on Wednesday. Next one here, ticker symbol ALF, and what a close to the day. Last 30 minutes of the day right there. Huge volume came in and the price reacted quite nicely. In fact, broke above those highs right there. So technically speaking, closed out the day with a technical pattern breakout, which now makes it a more than valid question of, all right, well, is this the start of something much bigger? Is there going to be more momentum that shows up on Wednesday? So we'll see what happens with it. But because of the IPO nature of this, we're sitting at all-time highs right now. So in terms of upside areas of resistance, basically, in my opinion, at least, this is what would just be known as a blue sky breakout territory, as the price is up here, in the blue skies. So, I mean, just for artistic sake, let me get a couple of seagulls up there. So there we go. We got some seagulls up around that area, or, whatever your bird of choice is. So overall, though, especially like I said, that last 30 minutes right there, has put the chart up into, just never before seen territory. So that dynamic in and of itself makes this super, super interesting headed into Wednesday. If there are any sort of pullbacks, first area of support to keep an eye on, going to be right here at $6.25. And then after 625, next key level would be down there right around the 550 mark. And I mean, I don't want to say that these levels don't matter, because they do, but the most interesting and I think most relevant dynamic after this, last 30 minutes is just simply, hey, is this the start of something much bigger? Is there going to be more momentum that shows up? Let's see how it goes. The next one here, ticker symbol OCGN, a very popular, very talked about stock, and a very cruel day. I mean, there's no need to beat around the bush. Had a very, very impressive gap up, but this is what in trading jargon we would call a gap and trap. So the price gapped up, and then, I mean, when you stop thinking about it, there were some poor souls that were buying up around here, and then from that point just basically bled the rest of the day, and essentially not quite gone back to where it was. But this is why I would certainly call this level down here at the $6 mark a must hold. And I'm not saying this will occur, but I mean, think about it. If it did happen, imagine the price coming down to 6 and then breaking down through there. I mean, what would that be telling you from a story perspective? The story would be great gap up, and then not only did the price go back to where it started, but it just kept on going lower and lower, which is a very bearish situation. Again, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but that is why, in my mind, $6 is a very important level of support. In terms of areas of resistance, keep a close eye on that purple line right there, the 50-period moving average, which is essentially pushing the price down. That's where the price got rejected from earlier on. And then from there, you can see the price just kind of slowly, moved right below that level. So you're going to want to keep an eye on that. But yeah, OCGN, wanted to throw it on here just because these ones can sometimes all of a sudden just turn themselves around. But yeah, overall, as of now, things are looking shaky and not exactly a very awe-inspiring day today after that gap and trap. Next one here, ticker symbol CLSD, and a very solid day, good solid volume. So from that angle, it just, comes about, is this volume going to continue? If it does, then there's some well-established technical points here. In the first level that, every breakout play and their brother's uncle is going to be watching, right up here at $4.70, very clearly. A couple of times there, a couple of times right there, the price got right up around that area. And then it was like somebody just flipped the switch, the momentum disappeared. So I'm not saying that level can never be broken, just saying that, apparently going forward, if there is going to be any sort of bigger type movements and more momentum that shows up, it's going to be all about, can the price, get above that level and stay above it. So keep a close eye on that from the resistance side of things. In terms of areas of support, the level here that stands out to me is going to be, basically this trend line here that has started to form. Let me change that to green to represent more of a bullish dynamic here. And I'm not saying that's a do or die must hold level, because you still do technically have the purple line down there, the 50-period moving average. But as far as, Clay, what would make this chart the best, what would keep this pattern looking as bullish as possible, and that would be, definitely staying above that level. Because if the price does stay above that green line, if I were to draw that down here, and then for you golfers out there, put a little golf hole down there. What we basically have here is a bull pennant pattern. But again, that bull pennant would, not existed if the price comes down there and blasts down through that trend line. So that's why I'd say ideally stay above there. But really, the level that definitely matters most is that breakout point up at 470. So we'll see if the price can get back up there and maybe break through it. Our next one here, PLTR, and wow, talk about a savage, cruel day. The price got up through that resistance trend line right there. So a breakout was underway. And I mean, it made more than enough sense to be excited, to be thinking, here we go. Price got all the way up until that area. And then the momentum just disappeared. And not only did it disappear to the tune of dropping all the way down there. So a really just savage move. Now, again, that does depend on perspective. If you're a day trader and you bought right there and you scalped it out the way up, okay, congratulations to you. But my comments are being geared more towards the overall picture. But yeah, I mean, you're not crazy at all if you bought that breakout right there. That made completely logical sense. but it's just a good little example there that there are no guarantees in the market. Just because something breaks out doesn't mean that it's going to continue to break out, because here was just, like I said, a savage move. There's really no other way to put it. So that definitely remains that main overarching area of resistance. And more the near term now, really before you put too much focus on doing battle with that resistance, first key area to watch is going to be right around 24.85. And then as far as levels of support are concerned now headed forward, key level going to be right there at 24.25. And then for more so the overarching standpoint, and I'm not saying this will, become relevant, ever, but right there, that pink line down there, which denotes the very well known, the very famous 200 period moving average, is more so that overarching level. But yeah, no doubt about it. Good to see that this thing can still move and move fast. But unfortunately, in this situation, it moved fast back to the downside. But we'll see if the price can try to recover. Next one here, ticker symbol WOOF. Did this analysis in yesterday's video. So what I'm going to do is actually clean up a few of these lines. Now that we have more data, the levels have stood out here a little bit better. And just from the support side of things, the level that really stands out is just this area down here at, let's see, what is that? The $25 mark. And you can see several times today the price was down around 25, both there. And this was essentially a former breakout point, which is a good example of, technical analysis 101. When levels of resistance are broken, you want to see them act as support. And that is exactly what happened there. In fact, generally speaking, right there, once again, held strong. But my point here is $25, definitely going to be a near-term key level of support. If that level doesn't hold up, then not too far away, we have the 50-period moving average down there, currently valued around 24.25. As far as areas of resistance are concerned, yes, this level up here is still an overarching level, but what I'm going to do is actually just adjust this down because it's not totally relevant right now, because the much more relevant level that, again, probably every breakout player and their brother's uncle is going to be watching moving forward, going to be right up there around $26.50, which is essentially the top part of the sideways channel that has formed. So really, after the morning kind of up and down, the price just fell into this sideways, choppy pattern here. And, if there is going to be a technical pattern breakout to the upside, then yeah, it's going to be 26.50 that would, dictate that. But yeah, really the quickest way to summarize this would just be on the 30-minute time frame here, sideways channel pattern, bottom of the channel support 25, top of the channel resistance up there at 26.50. Next one here, ticker symbol TSLA, Tesla. Love this one, trade it quite a bit. And I didn't get that much from it today. It was tricky for me, but overall, a rough day from the bigger picture point of view. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that line there as it served its purpose. But the big dynamic that happened here from at least the technical point of view is that the price came down to that trend line, which we'd been monitoring, and then ultimately broke down below it. And you can see from there that really picked up the bleeding. So, definitely sets us into a more of a bearish context here headed into Wednesday, because of that trend line break. And also because, not just because the price broke below it, but because the price continued to get separation on the downside from it. So looking like it'll be a bearish context to start things off. As far as levels of support, and the level that a lot of people will be watching, myself included, that's going to be right down here around the 596-ish area, give or take a little bit. So keep an eye on 596 if that comes into play. If that level gets tested and then is broken, next key level after that would then be down there right around the 591 mark. With any sort of attempted bounces back to the upside, key initial level going to be that pink line right there. Again, the 200 period moving average currently valid at, we'll call it 608.50. So 608.50, key level of resistance with any sort of attempted bounce. But yeah, with that trend line break, that definitely sets Tesla up for some bearishness. And then the last one here, ticker symbol DKNG. This one got me today for a loss. Big gap down. And then the thing just basically went straight back up, and that ultimately got me. But it happens. But so you got to give credit where credit's due. Good, solid move on that one, after the bounce. But the level that really stands out to me now moving forward in terms of, whether or not this, upwards move has any sort of genuine strength is going to be $46. Because then when you stop and think about it, price movements with genuine strength are going to make progress forward, and that's what that represents. So if the price went down there, bounced around and then headed back up, what would you still have at that point? Well, at that point, you'd still have a set of lows there. You'd have lows there if you envision those as stair steps. We have stair steps making progress in the upwards direction. Whereas on the flip side of things, if the price, came down to that level and then just continued on down, well, now all of a sudden what you have? You'd have the price having gone right back to where it was. And, price movements that go back to where they were, not exactly a sign of true strength. So to me, from more of a kind of just a general answering the question of, all right, yeah, great bounce today, but is it truly strong? Well, let's just see if the price can make progress by staying above 46. In terms of levels of resistance, first key level to watch in the near term, going to be right there at 49. And then, after 49, next key level will be right up there around that gap close location at $50.35. So keep around those couple levels if this bounce continues. But those are the top 10 stocks that I'll be keeping an eye on from the technical point of view. If you are interested in learning more about technical analysis, technical trading, then I offer a free class that I'm going to cut to right after this video wraps up. So if you're interested in attending a live class, free, completely free, like I said, stick around and I'll give you more details on that. But yeah, those are going to be the 10 stocks that I'll be watching. Of course, everything's always subject to change, but hopefully you had a good day today, and hopefully tomorrow on Wednesday also is well for you. But thanks for hanging out. And like I said, if you're interested in that class, stay tuned for just a second. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.